So, I popped into High House Insurance to see if they could quote for my house insurance rather than using the internet. High House got a great deal. So to celebrate, I bought a posh hairdo. It made me look beautiful, gorgeous enough to become a highly paid model. I then won Celebrity Big Brother. I had an affair with an MP. Now I'm promoting a doll of me that says, "Cool blimey, you're well fit."
Happy things happen when you talk face-to-face with High House Insurance. See if we can beat your home insurance quote from the internet. Find us on the High Street Selsey or call 606 552.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Manhood Internet Radio. I'm Tony Weiner, your host for this show. The school holidays have started and of course the weather welcomes this event with a downpour as usual. Never mind though, we have plenty here to keep you entertained, including our famous quiz and of course Alison with her news of local activities. So, over to Alison for a first report.
Time now to have a look at the Witterings and Bracklesham for the coming week. First of all, on Tuesday we have the Rookwood Lawn Tennis Club group coaching session. That's between 10 and 11, and a second session 11 until 12. £4 entry per hour. That's held at the West Wittering Sports Field. Early in the morning we've got the Little Explorers Play and Learn Together at Bracklesham Barn between 10 and 11:30. It's also the morning for yoga with Elaine. She has two sessions, 9:30 till 10:30 and then 10:45 until 11:45. And in the afternoon, there's Steady and Strong Strength and Balance class at the barn between 2:30 and 3:30. Early evening, the Bracklesham Barn hosts the Beginner Ukulele Club between 6:30 and 8:30. And at 7 o'clock, it's the evening for the Community Pop Choir. They rehearse at West Wittering Memorial Hall. They start at 7 and finish at 9. Back over at Bracklesham, the Badminton Club will meet from 7:30 until 9:30 at Bracklesham Barn. And there's free pool at Pond Barn on Tuesdays. Wednesday now, the morning starts off with table tennis, which is a drop-in and play for adults, between 10 and 12 at Bracklesham Barn. It's also the morning for CBT motorcycle training. That is a pre-booked session. It starts at 9 and finishes at 11. Then in the early afternoon, Step Inside belly dancing class at Bracklesham Barn between 1 and 2. And later in the evening, Louise has her Zumba class between 6:30 and 7:30. Moving on now to Thursday, Bracklesham Barn starts off with a Busy Bugs toddler gym between 9:30 and 12 noon. And on Thursdays, it's also the day for Stitch and Yarn. They meet at the Witterings Medical Centre between 10:30 and 12:30. And it's Knit and Natter at East Wittering Library between 11 and 12:30. Also on a Thursday, the Witterings Art Group meet at West Wittering Memorial Hall between 10 and 12. And it's the day for the Keep Fit exercise class at East Wittering Village Hall between 2 and 3. A couple of sessions of short mat bowls at West Wittering, one between 10 and 12, the other 2 till 4, both of those at West Wittering Memorial Hall. If you'd like a few more details, you need to contact Chris on 07788 111 325. That's Chris, 07788 111 325. And then in the evening at East Wittering Village Hall, there's a mixed ability Pilates group from 6 o'clock until 7. Private Ballroom and Latin also meet at 7 o'clock at East Wittering Village Hall. If you'd like to book that one, www.strictlydancinguk.co.uk. Also the day for the Junior Youth Club between 8 and 12 years at the Youth Centre, 5 until 6:30, followed by the seniors, 12 till 17 years old, between 6:30 and 8:30. And it's bingo night at the British Legion at 7:30. On Fridays at Bracklesham Barn, we start the morning with a Pilates session, 9:30 till 10:30, and in the early afternoon, short mat bowls between 2 and 4. Over at East Wittering, there's the Coastliners Line Dancing Group. They meet at the Village Hall between 2 and 5. Don't forget, it's the Rookwood Lawn Tennis Club group coaching beginners session on a Friday, 2 o'clock until 2:45, once again at West Wittering Sports Field. And in the afternoons at Bracklesham Barn, 5 until 9, UK Film Academy on a Friday. Later in the evening at Pond Barn, there's jukebox night between 7 and midnight. And over at East Wittering Village Hall, there's private and ballroom Latin classes. They start at 7. You can book those on www.strictlydancinguk.co.uk. On a Sunday at Bracklesham Barn, the Windrush Church have their regular meeting beginning at 10:30 in the morning. And in the evening at Pond Barn, it's quiz night starting at 8. Mondays, we have low impact aerobics at Bracklesham Barn between 9:15 and 10:15, and it's also the time for the Little Ducklings Mother and Toddler group between 9:30 and 11:30. Short mat bowls on a Monday at the barn, 10:30 until 1. And then early evening, Louise will be doing her Zumba class between 6:30 and 7:30. Over at East Wittering on a Monday, there's line dancing between 7 and 10 at the Village Hall. And back in Bracklesham at the barn, Elaine has a yoga class between 7 and 8:30. And don't forget Verity with her ARO Ladies Beginner Kickboxing class at Bracklesham Barn between 7:30 and 8:30. Back now to Tuesdays. In the morning, Rookwood Lawn Tennis Club group coaching sessions. 2 sessions there, 10 till 11. Another one, 11 till 12. £4 per person per hour. That's held at West Wittering Sports Field. At Bracklesham Barn, it's the morning for the Little Explorers Play and Learn Together between 10 and 11:30. Elaine has 2 yoga sessions at the barn. One 9:30 till 10:30. The other one 10:45 until 11:45. So that's Tuesday at Bracklesham Barn. And then in the afternoon on Tuesday between 2:30 and 3:30, Steady and Strong, Strength and Balance. In the evening on Tuesday, there's the Beginner Ukulele Club between 6:30 and 8:30. And over at West Wittering at the Memorial Hall, the Community Pop Choir will be having their rehearsal between 7 and 9. Badminton Club as usual at Bracklesham Barn, 7:30 until 9:30, and there's free pool at Pond Barn. A couple of specials for this week. On Wednesday the 26th of July, the Ukulele Jam will be happening at Bracklesham Barn between 7 and 10. And on Saturday the 29th of July, it's the Hospice Flag Day at the Witterings and Burdham in aid of St Wilfrid's. That's being held in the morning. And there's also a craft market with a nearly new book sale, starting at 10:30, finishing at 3:30 in the afternoon over at East Wittering Village Hall. So plenty of things there to do this week. Hope you enjoy going to some of those things. Bye for now.
Thank you, Alison. Time now to find out how well you did on the last quiz.
And just what you've been waiting for with bated breath, the answers to last week's quiz. And John asked us, what surname connects John Nettles and Neil Dudgeon in Midsummer Murders? That is, of course, Barnaby. Which dance do you associate with Chubby Checker in the 1960s? And you probably put your knees out doing it. They're called the twist. Which French artist who painted in the neoclassicist style lived during the Revolution and painted the Oath of Horatii? That was Jacques-Louis David. What was the name of the last Tsar of Russia assassinated in 1918? That was Nicholas II. And which English rugby league star was nicknamed Chariots? Well, of course, it couldn't be anybody else than Martin of Fire. And the connection? They're all Dickens titled characters.
I thought it was a bit easier than usual, but Kevin will be back with us later to knock away any smugness. While we wait for that, let's go over to Keith to find out about a local dumbwaiter.
Right, in the studio with me now, I've got a young man called Daniel Bowery. Now, you may or may not have seen Daniel in various productions that have been put on, mainly at the Pavilion, but in other places in Selsey as well. And Daniel's coming to talk to us mainly about a new play that's coming up that he's in. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
Now, you've got a new play coming up shortly, very shortly, I believe.
It is, yeah.
Called The Dumb Waiter. Now, what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, The Dumb Waiter is a 2-man play by Harold Pinter. It's just the one act. And not giving too much away, it features 2 hitmen who are waiting in a basement ready for a job, and they don't know the details of this job yet or why they're there. And it's all normal at first until they get strange messages coming down in the dumbwaiter in the basement. And as the play goes on, you see the characters' relationship unfold and the story unfold. It's a great piece, and it's one that you can really sort of interpret yourself as an audience member. He's a fascinating writer, and no matter which way you read it, personally as an audience member, it always works. He's brilliant like that. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant to work on. I've got two fantastic actors to work with. There's Ryan Moss, who you might know, who played Chaplin when we did it at the Pavilion, and Sam Townsend as well, who's known locally, who's always
young Sam,
Cloud9 and End of the Pier, etc. And they're fantastic in it. It's really good to work with them from behind the stage. I've always worked with them on stage, so this time it's quite different, but it's really good. It's a really good piece to sort of get stuck into.
So you're producing it?
Yeah, I'm producing and directing it.
Ah.
Yes.
And two young men, as I say, I know Sam Townsend very well, and I'm sure he'll give a good performance.
He always does.
Yeah.
Both of them do.
Now, tell us a little bit about Daniel the person. What do you do in your spare time, or if you get any, of course?
Well, yeah, spare time's a luxury I don't have at the moment. I've recently, last year, graduated from university with a degree in film and TV studies. Currently the artistic director of Icebreaking Productions, who is producing The Dumbwaiter along with High House Insurance. And I've done lots of local work, especially in Selsey, on stage and off stage. And particularly at the moment, I'm doing a lot of work with the Pavilion Theatre. As you may or may not know, it's sort of starting its restoration process, which is really good. Really good.
That'll be quite exciting.
It's really exciting. It's going to be a great opportunity and a wonderful space for the community as well. And it's wonderful to tie in our work with that as well. Having been involved in the Pavilion's production since it first started, the transformation that's happened already is incredible. And it's great to put our own work in there as well, alongside others.
As you say, a great thing for the community.
It is, yeah. There's not a space like it around, really.
Some would agree at the moment.
Some would agree at the moment. Others may not.
It's a little bit bare bones at the moment.
It is, it's very much bare bones, but the bones are there, which is the most important thing.
Absolutely, just put some meat on them and we'll be
exactly.
Okay. And I think it's some of the productions that have gone on in it have been fantastic.
They have,
considering the surroundings. They've gone down very, very well. People have ignored the surroundings, or sometimes even, I think certainly with Chaplin, I think the surroundings actually added to it.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And with the End of the Journey as well, which was the first production, R.C. Sheriff actually lived in Selsey. And it's wonderful to sort of tie these projects into the community down here and in such a special building. Which is sort of hard to find in the surroundings, really.
Absolutely. Now, the Dumbwaiter's taking place when?
Friday the 25th of August, Saturday the 26th of August, and then the following Friday the 1st of September and Saturday the 2nd of September.
Oh, so that's a strange, or unusual, not strange, but an unusual,
it is an unusual
setup.
Sort of setup. Yeah, we've got an evening performance on the Friday at 7:30, and then we've got a matinee at 2:30 on the Saturday, and then again in the evening on the Saturday at 7:30, and exactly the same the following weekend. We're just doing the two Fridays and the 2 Saturdays.
That'd be great. Yeah. And of course, it does give, this time of year, it does give people a chance to see it who might otherwise miss it, because a lot of people are away on holiday.
Yeah.
I wish I was back that weekend, but we're away. Well, you're back the following weekend, so it sounds like very good planning.
That's kind of how we wanted to plan it, really, especially as the village gets really popular with the holiday camp in the summer, and wanted to get sort of that changer. If people are down for 2 weeks and are busy in that first week, it gives them an opportunity to see it in the second, or vice versa.
Absolutely,
which is nice.
And I think I'm actually away the second week, but I might be there the first week. And tickets, if anybody wants tickets, they can get them from where?
They can. They are available at the box office, which is High House Insurance in the High Street. Or online via our Facebook page, Icebreaking Productions. You can find us on Facebook, and all the links are there, and they're £10 each.
Absolute bargain.
It is, yeah.
Where can you go to the theatre for £10?
Exactly, especially around here.
Well, exactly
Exactly
that.
Well, tickets aren't cheap.
We wish you well with it, Daniel.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure it'll be an absolute raving success.
I hope so.
And we hope to talk to you again later on in the year and see how it all went. And,
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Daniel. Nice to talk to you.
Thanks, gentlemen. Wonderful news about another great play. Now, Alison has hot-footed back to the studio with news of more activities in Selsey. So over to Alison.
Hello there and welcome once again to our weekly look at what's happening in Selsey. First of all, I'd like to remind you about the Eileen Saville Award for 2017. This is for the Manhood Wildlife and Heritage Group and it's to do with wild writing. The closing date is fast approaching, 31st of July. You may submit your entry any time before that date. This is the 6th year now that the award has been running, and the award people would like you to celebrate the world of mini beasts in a piece of creative writing. If you think about butterflies, bees, bugs, beetles, moths, dragonflies, worms, woodlice, ants and spiders, all that sort of thing, they'd like you to produce a story, a poem, a letter, a diary, a speech or a rap about a mini beast or mini beasts. You can present this as a handwritten piece, a Word document, with or without illustrations, a storyboard or comic strip, a video, a sound recording or an animation. The text may be scribed or typed by a friend or adult, but all the words and illustrations must be the work of the entrant themselves. The judges will be looking for an engaging plot or theme, the thoughtful choice of language, as well as some understanding of mini beasts. So you can write about what you do know, or you can do some research, or better still, you can find some mini beasts and watch what they do. They welcome entries from any young person below the age of 25 who lives on the Manhood Peninsula or who attends school here. Prizes will be awarded for different age categories depending on the spread and number of entries, and an overall winner will be chosen. If you're going to enter, then you need to supply the following information: your name and age, the name of who to contact and their email or telephone number. Entries should be sent or delivered to 28 Vincent Road, Selsey, West Sussex, PO 20 9QD. The collection can be arranged if you need it. Alternatively, you can email your entrant to chairmt@mwhg.org.uk. So that's the Eileen Saville Award 2017 Wild Writing. Back to our usual lineup for the week. We've got mobile soft play from 10 until 11:30 for the under fives at the Selsey Centre. You need to call Sue or Tom about that, 604 642. Then also on Tuesday, we've got the Selsey Shuttle Tuesday excursion. This week, they're going to Keydale Nurseries. They're picking up from 1:15 onwards. The cost is £5 a person. If you want to reserve your seat, please phone 604416. In the afternoon, how about a bit of Shakespeare? There's a reduced version of Macbeth being held at St Wilfrid's Chapel, Church Norton. The theatre company is called This Is My Theatre, and you can book with them www.thisismytheatre.com, or you can phone 07732 253311. So that's a one-act version of Macbeth for 1 hour. Kickboxing for kids later on, 4:30 until 5:30 at the Selsey Centre Manor Road, and then in the evening girls football at the Academy School Lane from 6 until 7, and don't forget netball for all at the Academy Sports Hall from 7 until 8:30. Then on Wednesday the 26th of July, it's wood carving at the Scout Hut, School Lane. We're a small group of friendly wood carvers who meet every Wednesday at the Scout Hut. They help each other with their various carving activities. Visitors are welcome to drop in and have a look at what they do. More information, you can follow them at the website www.selseywoodcarvers.co.uk. So that's all day on Wednesday. On Wednesday morning, body conditioning, an exercise class at the Selsey Centre from 9:15 until 10:15. And it's also the day for the Seal Island Swimming Club. They meet at the Oasis Pool, Bun Leisure, between 9:30 and 10:30. Then if the weather's good, It's the day for the Selsey Model Boat Club. They meet at the pond on East Beach, where they sail radio-controlled boats. New members, of course, are always very welcome. Chris has some more details, 601-550. That's from 10 until 12 on Wednesday. Also on Wednesday morning, the Fitter Sitters exercise class takes place at the Selsey Centre between 10:20 and 11:20. And there's chance once again to see the one-act Macbeth at St Wilfrid's Chapel, Church Norton. That's from 3 until 4. In the evening on Wednesday, as usual, the Selsey Community Choir will rehearse at the Methodist Church Hall. That takes place between 7 and 8:30. And it's also the evening for carpet bowls at Medmary Primary School between 7 and 8. Thursday now, the 27th, mobile soft play takes place at the Selsey Centre for the under-5s between 10 and 11:30. And in the afternoon, the Selsey Bridge Club meet at Cox's Road, Selsey. They're a friendly group of mixed ability. More information on that from Carol, 602250. They start at 2 and finish at 5. We've then got another chance to see Macbeth once again, 3 o'clock until 4 o'clock. Contact details as before, St Wilfrid's Chapel, Church Norton. And then in the early evening, Selsey Library is open. Come along to the library to listen, to read, to chat, whatever you want to. 5:45 until 7:15. And then early evening, there's walking football at the Academy. If you fancy a gentle game of football to keep you in shape, then do go along to that. Walking football for the over 50s between 6 and 7:30. Adult basketball on Thursday between 7 and 8 at the Academy Sports Hall. And carpet bowls at Medmary Primary School between 7 and 8. Friday the 28th of July, we've got the Seal Island Swimming Club at the Oasis Pool between 9:30 and 10:30. And then at the Selsey Centre, Steady and Strong. This is a class for people who'd like to improve their strength and balance. Run by Heidi Dunster. You can contact her on 0782 692 4923. This is a class that focuses on improving strength, posture, balance and confidence. You can just pay as you go and it's £4. 11:30 start, 12:30 finish. In the afternoon on Friday, there's Beginner's Bridge at the Selsey Club on Cox's Road. That's from 2 until 4. And it's also the afternoon for the Derby and Joan Club. Same time, 2 till 4. St Peter's Church Hall is the venue for that one. They meet for a game of bingo, some raffles, a cup of tea and a chat. Jill Evendon has more information on that one, 604187. And don't forget the Venture Bus will be in operation for the Derby and Joan Club. Macbeth once again at St Wilfrid's Chapel, Church Norton. That's from 3 until 4. And then in the evening, the Selsey Specials Friday football takes place at the Academy on School Lane. That starts at 6 and finishes at 7. Now, on Saturday, the 29th of July, St Peter's Church are hosting a car boot, tabletop and book sale at the church hall and in the car park. £8 for a car or a table. You need to contact Sally Barker for that, 604104. Starts at 8 and should be finished by 1 o'clock. Don't forget the Selsey Striders between 8:30 and 9:30. They claim it's suitable for all, so if you'd like to try that one, they meet at Hillfield Road Car Park. Also on Saturday, it's the Selsey Coast Guard Station Open Day. This is on West Street in Selsey. Of course, it will depend on operational requirements. If they're busy, then perhaps they won't be able to take quite as many visitors. But you're very welcome to go along to the station, meet some of the volunteer Coast Guards, find out about exactly what they do, the incidents that they've attended, and see the life-saving kit and equipment that they have on show. Sea safety information will be available. Plenty of leaflets for all ages. That's from 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock on Saturday. Slightly on the outskirts of Selsey at Siddlesham, it's the day for their annual church fete. This is held at the Vicarage Field in Siddlesham, near the church St Mary Our Lady. They like to hold a traditional English fete with something for everyone. You can browse the stalls and sideshows, listen to the Chichester City Band, enjoy the refreshments, homemade cakes, and there's even a dog show. That starts at 2 and finishes at 4. Back at Church Norton, another performance of Macbeth between 3 and 4. And also on the dramatic front, we've got 2 new plays by our own playwright, Gillian Plowman. These are showing at the Pavilion in the High Street. The first one is called The Ox and the Ass, which concerns a father, a son, and a stolen Picasso. The other play is Spendthrift, a seaside ghost story. Tickets are £10 each and are available from High House Insurance, 121 High Street, or you can book them online, www.ticketsource.co.uk/artsdreamselsey. The 2 plays start at 7:30 and should be done by 9:30 in the evening. Sunday the 30th of July sees the start of the Selsey Lifeboat Week, so plenty of activities going on in aid of the RNLI. First of all, on Sunday they're kicking off with the sea service on Lifeboat Green, weather permitting. That will start at 6:30 in the evening. Andy Wilkes, who's the RNLI chaplain and vicar of St Peter's Church, will be conducting the service. The Chichester City Band will be playing and different choirs will be participating. Do bring a chair if you'd like to sit down. So that's at 6:30 on Sunday. Earlier in the day, the Selsey Power Rangers will meet as usual at Hillfield Road Car Park from 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock. And then it's also the morning for carpet bowls at Medmenbury Primary School between 9:30 and 10:30. If the weather's good, the Selsey Model Boat Club will be out on East Beach Pond, where they'll be sailing their radio-controlled boats. New members are always welcome. Chris has some further details, 801 550, so that's between 10 and 12 o'clock on Sunday. In the afternoon on Sunday, carpet bowls at Medmenbury Primary School between 3 and 4, and another performance of the one-act Macbeth, St Wilfrid's Chapel, Church Norton. That's from 3 until 4 o'clock again. Don't forget the 2 plays, The Ox and the Ass and Spendthrift, showing at Pavilion High Street between 7:30 and 9:30 in the evening. Moving on now to Monday the 31st of July. The RNLI will be having an open evening at the new station, so you can come along, see the boat and meet the crew. That's from 6 until 9 in the evening. They're also looking, don't forget, for collectors for the forthcoming Flag Day, so you can also speak to them about that when you go to see the station. Dance and Tone on Monday at the Selsey Centre. Keep fit to music between 9:30 and 10:30. And there's a Pilates class between 10:45 and 11:45. Movies for Memories will be showing on Monday between 1 o'clock and 3:45. This week they're showing Annie. Booking is essential, 201 616. So if you'd like to see the film at the Selsey Town Hall, don't forget to book that one. Macbeth once again at St Wilfrid's Chapel, Church Norton between 3 and 4. And as usual, Selsey Basketball at the Academy Sports Hall. From 5 o'clock it's for ages 7 to 11, and from 6 o'clock age 12 plus. That's from 5 until 7. Netball for all at the Academy at School Lane between 6 and 7. And the Selsey Striders will meet between 6:30 and 7:30 at Hillfield Road Car Park. They claim it's suitable for all people who can run 3 miles or more. Don't forget The Ox and the Ass and Spendthrift, the 2 new plays by Gillian Plowman, once again a 7:30 curtain up at the Pavilion High Street. On Tuesday the 1st of August we have a walking treasure hunt, which is part of the Lifeboat Week. You can meet at 6 o'clock at the East Street car park. It's a treasure hunt walking around the streets of Selsey. Try and discover things you didn't know about the town and at the same time raise money for the Selsey lifeboats. The walk should take about 2 hours. The cost is £1 per person per entry, which you pay on arrival. So that's it for the week. Just time now for me to tell you about the forthcoming weather. Tuesday the 25th, we can expect a high of 21 degrees Celsius, or that's 70 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny intervals, 10 mile an hour west-southwesterly wind. Slight dip in temperature on the 26th on Wednesday, down to 20 degrees Celsius or 68 Fahrenheit. Light rain, 15 mile an hour, southwesterly wind. Same sort of temperature on Thursday, 20 or 68. Light cloud cover this time, slightly higher wind speed, 17 mile an hour, west-southwesterly. Steady temperatures on Friday the 28th with sunny intervals, 16 mile an hour, west-southwesterly wind. Saturday the 29th, once again 20 degrees Celsius, 68 Fahrenheit, sunny intervals, 14 mile an hour, southwesterly wind. And on Sunday the 30th, we can expect a top temperature back up to 21 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit, light cloud cover, 13 mile an hour, southwesterly wind.
Thank you, Alison. She's off now to prepare for next week. We haven't heard from Mike Nichols for a while, so let's find out what he's up to.
Right, with me now, I've got Mike Nichols, and Mike's going to be giving us an update of what's going on down at the bridge. Good morning, Mike.
Hello there, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
Very well.
Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity. The Bridge Youth Support Centre has been running for 2.5 years now, and during that time has supported a lot of young people in different kinds of need. At the moment, we're moving into the summer holiday period, and two things will be happening of significance. One is that for 2 weeks, the National Citizens Service, which gives young people an opportunity for a residential period away and then coming back to their community to do some social action projects, will be using the bridge as a base, and we're looking forward to the impact they have in Selsey. And for other young people, we'll be running with others a number of activities at the Selsey Centre on a Thursday afternoon, an activity and games time, and at other periods, different activities by way of craft and painting and so on. These will all be advertised, and young people will be very welcome to take advantage of them. In the autumn at the bridge, we shall be continuing to offer our support services, and we're gradually extending these to more and more families and adults, both by way of parenting support, which is now extending to grandparents who sometimes act in locus of parents in situations, well. And also offering listening and counselling and general support to adults where they impact on the lives of young people. So we're excited about the continued progress and very grateful for our staff and many volunteers who engage in that way. While I'm here, I hope you won't mind me mentioning that we do quite a bit of intergenerational work with older friends, some of whom we help to learn their way around iPads and iPhones and things of that kind. And others, for instance, that we helped organise a trip to the Novia Museum, young people and older friends doing a tour together, young people visiting local care homes, places where older people gather, but just generally encouraging those sort of relationships. And at the moment, for older friends in Selsey, new services and provision is being made around becoming a dementia-friendly community, which is not only helpful for people who have a diagnosis of dementia, but those who, like many of us in senior years, become a bit forgetful, confused, a bit slow, and just developing a sense of helping people to understand and be compassionate and sympathetic in those sort of situations. And for some people who live alone, we're developing a befriending service, groups of people who are willing to go and just sit for an hour with someone and chat to them and listen to them. Sometimes providing someone to sit with a person so that their carer can have a bit of a break. And we're developing all these things in partnership with our Selsey carers and other agencies. And on the 18th of September at the Town Hall between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, there's going to be a community showcase where all these provisions and many others will be advertised, and we're welcoming anyone who would like to come along to have a look at that. I think that's the gist of what's happening, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share it.
Well, it's always a pleasure, Mike, because you've always got something new coming up that's going on in the community that perhaps a lot of people don't see. A lot of people are quick to condemn the youth of today. I'd probably be one of those on oft occasions, but to try and breed this understanding between youth and the older generation, I think is a wonderful thing, because to me that's where the problem lies. It's just lack of understanding, and to somebody that's going to try and get the two groups to understand each other, and I'm sure that leads to a far more harmonious community once each other knows the needs of the other. So thanks for that, Mike, on behalf of the community.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Mike. The iconic Selsey Lifeboat Station is no more, and we have an interview with Martin Thomas about his involvement with its final days.
With me now, I've got a gentleman called Martin Thomas. Martin spent a great deal of time recently, as have many people I used to add, sitting down on the seawall, watching them take down the old lifeboat station. But Martin's been recording it for posterity. Good morning, Martin.
Good morning.
Now, you've spent quite a bit of time there, recording, videoing and photographing proceedings as they've gone along. What do you intend to do with the film once you've done it?
Once the completion of the lifeboat demolition's been taken, the lifeboat station demolition's been taken down, I intend to edit it and shorten it, because there's about 25 hours of filming and photographs that I intend to pass all the data onto the lifeboat station crew, to a chap called Richard, who has given me one of his memory cards, so I can hopefully download all the data to his memory stick, and they can use it for training purposes, where they might have gone wrong on the launch trials, how the demolition of the lifeboat station was taken down, and to show people what Selsey and the lifeboat station was like since it was built in 1958. So it is a good, memorable thing, perhaps a very sad occasion for us all, I think. And obviously the Selsey people who live here, and being a new member to Selsey, I feel that if I can help to contribute to Selsey in the way that I do with my own hobby, then it will help those who come here and say, well, what was there and why did they build a new lifeboat station?
Absolutely. Well, I think it's a great idea, and although sitting through watching 25 hours of it might be difficult, but I've been watching it with great interest, as I'm sure a good many people in Selsey have. Now, you say you're not from Selsey. Very few of us are, I think, sadly, because it's a very special place, and I wish I'd have lived here a lot longer than I have. So you moved to Selsey from where?
We moved to Selsey from Weybridge, Surrey area back in 2008, just before the recession. My wife had actually fallen back in Surrey, and a friend of ours who worked at the same place as I did at the time gave us the keys to his house down in Selsey, so my wife could convalesce with her knee. And at the time, that was a good ploy, really, because at the end of the day, although we registered on the way down here just for a week, we didn't know what was at the end of the week's stay, except having a nice break and enjoying the Selsey life. So we had a look at one or two houses down here in Selsey. In fact, we only saw one because it was the end of the week, and we actually managed to shake hands to an elderly couple who wanted to move. And as we were walking down the Selsey lifeboat station, lo and behold, the manager from the estate agents phoned us up, and they'd obviously got information from the estate agents, which was passed down the line to where we live, that we were hoping to sell. So we gave them the answer that we had bought the house down in Selsey by shaking hands and not realising that we hadn't sold the property in Surrey where we had been living for 50 odd years, that we had to sell it, and that was just before the recession. So of course that meant that it was not a very good time to sell, really. So we were taking a big chance, shaking hands on one property, and the property that we hadn't sold before. So on the Monday evening it was suggested that the estate agents came down to give us a price, and we agreed to it. The board went up on the Wednesday, and 10:30 the following morning while I was on duty, the house was sold, lock, stock and barrel. So between then and doing my job in the ambulance service, I actually was communicating with the estate agents in Selsey, and they were keeping us in touch, and 11 weeks later we were in. And then lo and behold, we had to go on a cruise a week later, and it was all planned out.
Oh, what a
so
shame.
we needed a well-earned rest from not so much the trauma, but the excitement of moving down to Selsey.
Now, since you've been in Selsey, I mean, you've got involved in quite a number of bits and pieces that are going on. I believe you're also involved with Brent Lodge, and then you were telling me that you were got to go and rescue a swan.
Yes.
Is that not a dangerous occupation? Swans not being known to be the friendliest of birds.
Having worked with patients in the ambulance service and picking them up from home is probably not quite so much a dangerous occupation. They don't talk, they flap their wings and get in the flap, but actually I've always loved animals from when I was brought up, and so of course going to Brent Lodge a few months after we moved in, they said that they wanted an ambulance driver to rescue, recover, dispatch and pick up from the vets not too far away. I decided that would be a good pastime hobby, because I didn't know what we were going to do down here, but because of the love of animals I decided that it would get me out of the house and perhaps give me a little free time myself. So I got involved with that.
Not a bad idea at all, getting a little bit of free time to yourself. Well, thanks for popping in and having a quick chat with us, Martin.
You're welcome.
I know you were dying to get back to the seawall. I did notice when I come past there this morning, I always said that one day I would get a spanner and I would take off the maroon launcher that was on the gantry, because to me the lifeboat in Selsey lost something when they stopped using the maroon. I was talking to Clive Cocaine about it and other people, and I said for me that was when the lifeboat started to dwindle in people's eyes in Selsey, when you didn't hear that bang. And I said to my wife when we were up in the gantry one day, I'm going home to get a big spanner and some WD-40, and I'm going to take that launcher off there. But I noticed it was still on there this morning, and it's on the next section to come down, so I've lost me chance. So if you film it coming down, I should be an avid viewer. Well, thanks once again, Martin, for coming in and having a chat to us. I know you're very busy, and we'd like to get you back in the future.
Love to, yes.
And tell us what you've been up to.
And if anybody wants any videos or photographs from my thousands of hours of the lifeboat station and its history of photographs, I'm more than willing to
I'm sure you'll be inundated with requests for that. Thanks once again,
indeed.
Martin.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. An interesting project. Another interesting project is the Rampion Wind Farm, which is quite visible from Selsey now, and I guess it'll be interesting to see if we become sentimental about it as well. I suspect not, or at least not as much. Anyhow, enough of this sentimentality as we put our thinking caps on and go over to the Quizmaster. Here's Kevin.
Hello there, it's Kevin the Quiz with this week's dose of quiz questions. 5 general knowledge questions, but what connects all the answers? Question number 1 for the young at heart. Which Tracy brother is the pilot of Thunderbird 1? Question number 2. Which 4-letter word is a Scottish name for a church? Question number 3, highbrow question. Which Russian playwright's work includes The Cherry Orchard? Who was he? Question number 4, horse racing. Which Irish jockey was champion over the sticks for 20 consecutive years, from 1996 to 2015? And question number 5, which American paediatrician wrote the book Baby and Childcare, published in 1946? 5 questions, 5 answers. What connects the answers? Good luck.
Thank you, Kevin. That should keep people busy. And with that, it's me done for another week, so it just remains for me to thank all our contributors, including Local Life magazine, our sound editor John Mallett, our presenters Alison, Kevin and Keith, not forgetting, of course, our producer John Fletcher. So it's goodbye from me, Tony Weiner, until next time. Bye.